At 5,500 meters, it's exhausting, whether you're walking upstairs or riding off-road for 70 kilometers through a lake bed to Everest Base Camp. It's just, everything's hard at that altitude.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I want to talk some more in a moment, but I want to bring you another story which I think has similarities. It certainly chimes with what you've been talking about. It's about a long motorbike trip and its effect on a different relationship. Franco Antonello is an Italian businessman with the time and money to fulfill his dream and to travel around the Americas on a Harley-Davidson. What makes him different from other men with the same dream is that Franco took his autistic son Andrea with him, and they travelled for 4 months in the United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Panama and Brazil. And a book about their adventures called Don't Be Afraid If I Hug You has become a bestseller in Italy. Through a translator, Franco told us more about his journey and his son.
Andrea
is a wonderful 19-year-old guy, but he has problems in communicating with people. Since he was diagnosed with autism, he never said a full sentence to me. He can speak words, but he cannot express himself. He cannot express his feelings. So the only way we found for him to communicate is via a computer. So he writes his thoughts with a specific piece of software on a computer. And this is the way he communicates with us. So Andrea cannot express his needs, basically. And he does strange things, such as touching people's bellies or hugging them very strongly. When it comes to coping with Andrea, I've always followed my instinct. There is no manual, there are no instructions. I've always done what my heart suggested. I used to take him to concerts, and he would get lost. And it was very hard for us to find him. So we even had to ask for the help of policemen a couple of times. That's why I decided to print T-shirts. On the T-shirt there was written, "Don't be afraid if I hug you," so that people wouldn't be scared when Andrea would try to hug them. And on the back of the T-shirt there was my phone number, so that people could call me and bring Andrea back to me. Then Fulvio Ervas, the author of the book which tells the story of my trip with Andrea, decided to use the sentence on the T-shirts, "Don't be afraid if I hug you," as the title of the book. And this has become a kind of slogan for all the autistic people who cannot communicate. And they are shouting, "Don't be scared if I hug you." I wanted to give Andrea what he couldn't have from anyone else. So Andrea once wrote, "I would love to have around people who are smiling." So I knew that his days would have been characterized by sad people around, being sad because of what he is. And so I decided to change things. And I thought, what can be a dream of a boy? A dream can be riding a motorbike across America. And it was also my dream. I know it was difficult. I know it was against all advice because it wouldn't fit in with his routines. But I know that he could have done this only with me. So we decided to leave. We didn't know how long we would have stayed, maybe 3 days, maybe 3 months. But it was a dream for us. We knew it was difficult, but we decided to rise to the challenge, and we did it, and it went very, very well. Riding a motorbike and going on a motorbike trip like the one we did with Andrea is not a way of recovering from autism. It's very hard. It goes against all the routines. But what we've told in the book has all happened. Meeting Native Americans in Arizona, or when we slept in the Amazonian forest with snakes and monkeys around, or the meeting Andrea had with Angelica in Brazil. Angelica is a girl he met in Brazil and with whom he had a special relationship. But the most important thing for me of the whole trip is that Andrea came back proud of himself. He's proud, he's smiling, and when you're so proud and so smiling, you can understand that there might be a future for you as well. So after a few months, Andrea started asking of his mom, his brother, so I understood he wanted to go home. And we decided that it was time for us to go home. When we returned, everybody found that he was more smiling, he was more of a serene person, if I can put it like this. During the trip, we've had some difficulties, I won't deny that. But all in all, it was a smooth journey. The hardest problems I'm having are when I'm at home. And, Andrea and I were lucky to be able to go on this trip because we had the money, because we had the time to do it. But the real heroes here are all the families of autistic children who are at home, who cannot do such a trip, and who are every day are facing much harder times than those we've had during our journey.
Franco Antonello on his trip on a Harley-Davidson with his autistic son, Andrea. Well, Ryan and Colin Pyle still with me. It sounded like it was a life-changing experience for them. Was it a life-changing experience for you, Colin, your motorbike trip round China? Because you gave up your job to have a gap year.
Yeah.
Did your life change afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I think when you just jump off the treadmill of sort of that corporate life and you reevaluate things. It changes your life completely. And it changed the way I look at the rest of my life and the decisions I'm going to make and how I want to live my life. I really want to live it for myself rather than just sort of, work in a cubicle and trade a zero-sum game for the rest of my life. So.
And are you tempted back into the open spaces? Will you ever go on a trip like that again, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah.
What about your love affair with China? Ryan, what is it still there, or did you fall out of love after you went round the perimeter?
Never. I mean, it's an ongoing love. I live full time in Shanghai, China, and I have done since 2002. So, and I'll probably be there, for the foreseeable future. And Colin and I definitely have more plans to do more productions like what we've done, with the television and the book, and continue showing people that it's okay to take a break, it's okay to try something different, it's okay to lead a bit of a different life. And then when you come back, you just have more confidence, you've got more energy, you've got it really does change you profoundly in a lot of ways that don't tick boxes. And I think that's something that's really important. It's good for the soul.
Ryan and Colin, thank you very much indeed for coming on to Outlook today. We'd love to hear from you. If a journey changed your life, send us your stories by email to outlook@bbc.com or post on our Facebook page. Did a journey change your life? That address again is outlook@bbc.com.